Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another week of Overwatch Cavalry Club Scrims. I am your play-by-play caster, Showdown Shane.
And I am your color commentator for this evening, the better, the stronger Jag.
And tonight, for our Shimada Clan Division game, we have Lotus, the plague that came before, versus Canada's favorite, United Moose. What do you think of the matchup tonight, Jag?
I think it's really interesting because, we've already seen Lotus play so far in Stage 2, and they did take that victory, so they are up 1-0. We haven't seen United Moose just yet, but they didn't do so well in Stage 1, while Lotus, did very, very well. So this might be a bit of an uneven matchup, but United Moose definitely looking to make a statement tonight.
And for tonight's map packs, we have Oasis, New Bonnie, Junkertown, Hanamura, and Ilios. What's your takeaway on those maps?
You know, I think Numbani is going to be the one to watch. I think there's a lot of different strategies, but dive really prevails there. So if a team can't really adjust to that style, it might be a quick loss for them. I think Oasis could be anyone's game, and I'm excited that's going to be our first map. But let's talk about these players a little bit.
Going to Lotus's roster, we have Berkey and UMN 36 as tank, and Uni and Eternal as the DPS, and Michael G and Atomic as the support.
Yep. And on the side of Yen and Moose, we have Okemi and Space Mew on the tank role, Tani Style and Flame Okame on DPS, and Tiger Lily and Nova Vixen on the support role. So it should be really interesting.
We have a lot of familiar faces here, folks, so it should be a great matchup tonight, and I'm excited to see what kind of great plays we get out of these two teams.
Yeah, we'll be going into the map in just a second. And, you know, Control is always such an interesting map type because each point is a little bit different than the last one. I think Oasis is kind of more geared towards dive, especially the ones that aren't university. So I think we could see a lot of that tonight. I mean, Echo not as meta as before, but still very powerful with a map with, you know, a good skyline. So we could see some of her come out tonight.
It's all about that Ashe Genji action nowadays, as Ashe Genji has become a powerful combo with the Mercy Pocket on the Ashe. Genji getting those essential buffs that make him almost a terror to be reckoned with as we take it to Oasis. But hey, look out for the experimental cars, Genji mains, because he's getting a little bit of a tweak to make him not as powerful.
Yeah, and that Moira change is crazy. I don't think it'll go through to live. I know the community is kind of in uproar right now. If that did go live, man, she would be a must pick, and we might even see Brawl come back because she's very good with the Lucio and the Rein Zarya, which we might see some of here because this is University. This is a great Brawl point. May very strong with those walls to cut off those choke points.
Right now, we're going to get right into the action as everyone is assembling their teams. I'm kind of excited for the Mora picks a little bit. I haven't got to play Mora too much in the experimental card, but I did see the big 150 damage per second if the orb is within 0 to 1 meters away from the opponent, which, oh boy, that is going to be quite... We're going to see a lot more skill orb plays, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely, but we're not going to see any Moira right now. We are going to see Brawl coming out, the Reaper on both sides, but instead a Ana, and actually we are going to see a Moira on this. Nope, just kidding. Nova Vixen going to swap back to that Ana last second as these teams make their way to the point. So this first fight is going to be so important for the rest of this map.
We saw the Symmetra come out from Lotus and try and get the teleporter out. Both teams are now in the engagement, and Uni already taking out Space Mew. Right now, Lotus is up 3, and looks like they will take first point as they got 3 kills right off the bat.
Yeah, and that TP was so important. Eternal swapping onto the Genji at the last second, able to get back into that fight, and a very quick first fight from them. Didn't get all that ult charge because we did see United Moose back out after the fight ended. Very smart play from them.
Right now, we're about to get the second engagement on. That was a huge play by Eternal, and that way it was going to be an uphill battle for United Moose to even contest them at the point. And right now, Uni once again taking out Space Mew. Reaper is such a terror against Ends and aggressive Rein because it literally forces him to actually stay on a little bit of the passive side, as Reaper can just melt down the Reinhardt.
Yeah, and that might be the opening they need for United Moose right now. They are up in this fight 6v5. Eternal not going to be back for just a little bit, but their tank ults are so close right now on the side of Lotus.
We see a Nano coming out on Berkey right now, hoping to get aggressive, gets slept over and over again. Barrier is down right now. Hammer comes out, but not much is happening. Counter hammer comes back, and it finds United Moose's teammates as they are being taken out. But right now, looks like Lotus is just up 1 person, and that's yet again, another soft reset for United Moose.
Yeah, Space Mew just not able to find the shatter there, and it came out much better from Berkey, able to get them down. Again, not cleaning up the fight entirely, but winning just enough for them to back out on the side of United Moose. But here's the re-engage right now.
You see a Reaper trying to take point. We see Graviton Surge coming out as well, and it's huge as it takes out everyone from Lotus, and it looks like United Moose will take this point away from Lotus.
Yeah, just gonna clean up Uni real quick, and that is the last one to fall on the side of Lotus. But look how much was used by United Moose. They use 1, 2, 3 ults in that fight. All they're gonna have right now is the Valkyrie as well as another Shatter. So Spacing is gonna have to hit a better one because Eternal does have that Blade online. Medical G is not that far off with the Nano, and that's their fight winner right now. And with a Blade from UNN 36, that's all they need to take this point.
Yikes! And we already see Uni taking the point. Away from Flame Okami. We see ground on surge coming out, but not much comes out of it. Berkey gets Space Mew though, as he was taking so much damage, getting bursted down, and looks like Lotus is just taking out all of UM's members back to back. We see the Rez coming out to try and salvage the fight. But we see a Nano Lucio. Hello. And it looks like Lotus will take this point back, reaching the last point territory, but I do not think UM has what it takes to make it back.
He did swap onto that Hammond last second, but kind of was a little bit apprehensive. Is going to touch, so they will be able to get a little bit of overtime going on this point just in the nick of time. But here's the Shatter, and it's huge!
Yes, sir, but it only cleans up one, but it does no value came out of it. Counter Shatter comes out, but doesn't find anyone. And right now, United Moves is trying to desperately take this point back. We see the beat coming out from the side of Lotus. Is right now Flame Okami is taking out Berkey. But it looks like Lotus takes out Q in return. We see Reaper saying die, die, die on point. And it looks like Lotus will hold on this point as they take round 1.
Yeah, it was just so hard for United Moose to get back in. They are already lost 86% on the point by the time they got that first cap. They were able to get 40%, but they committed so many ults into a fight that they had already won, honestly. I think they really needed to be a little bit more conscientious about how much they were using to keep their ult economy good. And they kind of had to rush back to point, and it just kind of fell apart from there. You know, the Reaper was nanoed, was able to stay alive for a little bit longer than usual. The Flame Okami trying to do their best, but in the end, it's not enough as we now go on to this next point of Oasis.
We see Eternal yet again swapping to the Symmetra. They try and get that early movement going, which can be huge as it's now forcing the other team to kind of play on your terms because you now have the space to work with.
Yeah, absolutely. But we do see a Pharah coming out from Tawny style. Eternal is going to be on that Echo, so there is going to be a little bit of a sky battle here. Let's see who wins it.
We see the Sigma coming out as well. A little bit of double shield comp already. Tawny style already taking out Atomic. And right now, Tawny style taking out 2 right now. And it looks like UM is up in terms of players. And right now, United Moose will be taking the point as Lotus has to go for the regroup.
Yeah, and now Eternal so low is going to get out the very nick of time, and I do think the Pharmacy is the play here. It's very strong. There's a lot of great angles for you to kind of hide behind, and it's been so impressive so far. Halfway to that barrage, but Nova Vixen already very close to that Nano.
You see the second engagement coming out, Nano coming out as well on the Rhine. And Rhine just counter charges back, but Space Mew is Nano, is anti-tied. Shatter comes out, but it's blocked by Space Mew. Uni takes out Tawny style. Right now, the Pharah not going to be a problem right now anymore. But it looks like it's going in Lotus' favor, and it looks like that will be the end of this fight as the cleanups are coming out, and Lotus takes back the point.
Yeah, it just seems like that Nano for Michael G that I didn't even realize was online. That's how fast he built it. Was the aggressive move that they needed on the side of Lotus. They were able to kind of run through all the United moves. They weren't prepared for it. And I think the Nano coming out from Nova Vixen that landed on Okami might have been a misclick. Maybe trying to get it on the Rhine, who was antied at that point, to try to just keep them alive. But they have so many ults right now. It looks so in favor of United moves going into this fight.
You see another engagement about to happen right now. Both teams kind of just passively weighing it out. Eternal coming out and popping the Reinhardt. Hammer comes out on the Eternal to try and get him out of that form. Barrage came out as long with Fritz Flux getting a couple kills out, and it looks like United Moose is coming up with the strong and aggressive lead with the ults. They're trying to clean up all of Lotus. And now is just a matter of time before they take back the point.
Yeah, and I was going to say that was a good fight from Lotus until they used the beat at the end. They really were going to want that back for later. They did get a lot of ults out on the side of United Moose. I think they used 3 in that fight, maybe 4 actually. Yeah, I think the Valkyrie came out at the very end too. They do have the Beyblade though. That could be the huge fight winner for them, the Blossom Nano.
As we see another, as we see Lotus getting hyper aggressive right now. See another shatter coming out from Berkey, but doesn't find anyone. We see a huge ground surge coming out as Lotus cleans them up. And right now, Lotus takes back point again, as is a team kill ringing loud and proud.
Yeah, and this is not looking good for United Muse. They used so much there, and in the last few fights, and they also nanoed actually the Reaper, but he did not blossom, which I think was a very interesting choice. They swapped now to the Echo. Space Mute is very close to that hammer, but Uni does have the High Noon, so that could be all they need to take the Echo out of the sky.
As we reach back into another team engaged fight, we see Echo trying to get a little bit sneaky in the back line. We see Michael G taking out Space Mute. They are now Lotus. UM now down to main take, but gets revived instantly. We see the McCree facing off against the Reaper. Or as you see a little bit, as you see Reaper, I see McCree trying to take a little bit of an off angle, but Tawny style taking out Uni. He right now is getting close to overtime for Lotus. We see Eternal turn to Reinhardt again, trying to get a charge off. Hammer coming out, and it's huge as it takes down everyone from Lotus, and a Death Blossom coming out from above to try and to clean up the fight on Lotus, and United Moose will take back their point.
Yeah, but again, they use so many ults just to win that one fight, and it's last fight territory right now for them. If they lose and Lotus secures this point, they will take this map. All they have right now is the Nano, somewhat close to that Echo Alpha, still so far away, and we see 3, almost 5 ults on the side of Lotus. All they have to do is be a little bit patient, and so far they've been very good at being the patient aggressor, using their ults a little bit more quickly and just running in.
A High Noon coming out as well to try and zone everyone out. Doesn't pick up any kills. You see Berkey once again getting nanoed as he goes in aggressively. Tony Style taking out Eternal. Hammer coming out as well, but nothing gets out of it. We see a Space Mute getting nanoed as well. Hammer comes out and picks up a couple from Lotus as he try and take back this fight. Ground Surge coming out as well, just holding everyone in place, but still shields covering both sides. Not getting any damage, not whatsoever. As it's still uphill battle for Lotus, but Eternal takes out Okemi with the sticky bombs. Right now, it's 4-1 on the point on last fight territory, as Lotus is taking back this point with just a Mercy just flying around, trying her best. We see Echo turning into Lucio once again, just to ride it out, but gets canceled instantly. Tawny Style just trying to hold on for dear life, and gets taken out by Uni. And we see Space Mute coming out as well with a charge. High Noon as well to try and zone everyone else. Eternal sticky bombing Space Mute, and that is it. Lotus wins game 1.
Yeah, and that was really close. I mean, we saw the first one much more in Lotus's favor, but it was 99-99 at the end, so United Moose showing a little bit of good faith about what they could possibly do, but I think it just comes down to their ult discipline as well as target focus. You saw there at the end, they had a big numbers advantage, and then they got grabbed, and immediately after the grab, they all just got completely split apart, no one focusing the same target, and a huge nade from Michael G coming in that really secured them that fight. So Lotus taking that 1-0 lead in this series.
It was a great game played out by both teams, but as we saw, Lotus coming out strong, proving that they are still a menace to be reckoned with in Stage 2. But United Moose, kicking back. They were knocked down pretty hard, but that's just growing pains, as United Moose is still a new team coming into OCC and trying to prove their worth in this week on another night of OCC scrims.
Yeah, and again, they did show that they can make this very close series. They did show, especially on Gardens, that they are here to play, and they had the better comp at first. I really thought that Pharah pick would be the difference maker. I think we did see a swap come out from Lotus in the end that, they had the McCree, so they did have the hit scan to kind of counter it out, but it was very close. So, Nimbani could be where they tie it up, but not all is lost. Even if they lose that, they still have plenty of time to get back into the series.
Bonnie is a interesting map to where you can use the Orisa and be on the high ground away from the point, or you can take the aggressive style with the Rhine. But as we all know, middle is a death trap. You never go main in a team composition because you will die very easily.
It's really hard, I mean, especially if you're a tank player on this map for that first attack. you kind of have to hope that your your off tank specifically is with you, especially if you're running a Winston Diva. Because you're kind of left all alone if not, and then you're just an alt charge battery for the other team to kill. So you have to be very coordinated for a dive attack to work out, and we might see more double shield or brawl. That's definitely plausible too. It really depends on what these teams are comfortable with and what they've practiced so far.
As we take it to Nabani in just a second, both teams trying to get ready. No swaps coming in from what I can see.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to be swapping anything up just yet. I mean, Lotus has to be pretty confident in their lineup as they did win that first map, so they probably want to stick with what's working. United Moose, not ready just yet to make any changes. Want to keep going on that, try to see if it works. They ran the Mercy a lot, which I thought was really interesting. Even when they swapped off the Pharah, they kept onto that Mercy. So I'm not sure if Tiger Lily just really likes running the Mercy, or maybe that's just kind of what they run as a team. But Mercy not in really the best spot right now in terms of where she fits in the meta. I think sometimes you can see her pocketing an Ashe. That can be a really good combination, especially if you're trying to get down like a Pharah or something like that. But other than that, not as useful outside of the pharmacy.
That is very true. As a tank player, we all share sentiments of we don't really get the Mercies and why they pick her. But I can see Mercy as being a very simple hero to play when you're just starting out as the game. Is mainly just make sure to heal everyone. You don't have to worry about being aggressive or getting kills. You just have to worry about healing your team. So I can see the charm of using Mercy.
Yeah,
But
and on the
go ahead.
but on the other side, honestly thinking about it, you could also actually see the Mercy pocket a Winston if they do run that dive, because she can kind of fly around and help him. So that could be a good pick there, but it doesn't seem like we're going to see dive on other side.
As we see Berkey coming out strong with the Orisa, we're getting that double shield strategy, that all so coveted double shield strategy, the OG Orisa 6 strat.
Yeah, and then we're going to see it versus the Sig Rhine, which is a bit more aggressive version of double shield. You kind of have to play it more like a brawl comp. We're also going to see the pharmacy come out, so Tiger really still sticking onto that Mercy. Let's see if it gets the value they're looking for, but Uni is on that Ashe, a really great counter to them, and Ashe is just such a great pick right now in this meta. She's so strong with the Dynamite and Bob.
We see the first engagement is coming out. Berkey just shooting down the lane and just holding M1 as all Orisas do a good job of doing, just using that 150 clip mag and just shooting it down in a general direction. But right now, United Moves kind of just getting on the point, just so daintily. But barrier destroyed from Space Mew, so they have no protection right now. A little bit split on the side of United Moves as Okemi all alone as Eternal just sticky bombs the mess out of them. And right now, Lotus will be holding on to this point.
Yeah, and you saw a huge hack come out from Flame Okami, was able to hack Eternal out of the air, but then the team didn't really know what to do after that. I was surprised that they didn't try to push in on them, because a Echo who has no momentum abilities is a basically dead Echo. We saw the Brig on the side of Lotus kind of try to rotate and help them, and then you saw Okemi get stuck behind, and now they're swapping onto the Roadhog, so this is a very interesting pick.
Yes, indeed, as Roadhog is not the most popular pick right now in terms of tanks because of the fact that he provides little to no protection for the team, besides just having a big body and just hooking people with aggressive plays. And right now, we see both teams burning. Tawny Style getting the kill on Atomic B. The United Moves to make sure to take their point. Right now, someone needs to drop soon so that they don't get the first pick off. But looks like we see the barrage coming out as well, but does not get a kill. Right now, United Moves still on the uphill, so it's kind of an even fight right now. But we see Eternal turning into Reinhardt, but gets out of it immediately. And looks like United Moves will just clean them up as they take this point.
Yeah, and it seems like the Sombra from Okami has kind of been the difference maker. This fight isn't over just yet, but now it is the Bob not going to be able to touch. Oof, close, but not close enough at the very end. Now, United Moose is going to have 4 minutes in the time bank, and so far, the Pharah has been pretty good. Her ult didn't get as much value as they probably wanted to, maybe a little bit too high up in the air, but that's the risk you have to take. But a lot of ults right now on the side of Lotus as they look to hold the second point.
We see the Baptiste field coming out to try and get a little bit aggressive. Uni takes out Flame Okami. They are now down their hacker, but gets revived instantly. Dynamite coming out as well. Right now, United Moose backing up a little bit just to see, trying to weigh their options, you know. Just trying to they're not in too much of a hurry, as they know they just have to push this point as far as they can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, and it's coming out and it's huge as United Moose just cleans up Lotus. They just push the payload further and further on, but UMN36 says not just yet as he takes out Space Mew.
Yeah, this map looking much better right now for United Moose, and the Flame Okami EMP followed up by the Space Mew Shatter was perfection. It did exactly what it needed to. The Valk being used at the end, maybe a little bit questionable. They could have probably held on to that, but they do have the whole hog as well as the Nano. Still a lot of ults on the side of Lotus, almost 5 as Eternal getting so low but so close, and is going to fall early, so that might be the entry that United Moose needs onto this third point.
But you see the bongos coming out as well from Berkey. Bob coming out as well, which a Bob that has damage boost is going to be a scary, scary thing as Flame Okami gets taken out by Uni, and that is a backup for United Moves.
Yeah, and they lost that fight really quickly. They basically only lost their Sombra, and that was the end of it. So they're being very good at backing out of fights that they know they can't win. On the attack, you don't really have to worry about it. On defense, you kind of have to play the point even if you're losing, just to, you know, make sure that card doesn't get any more momentum. But they got a lot of ults out, but here's the Flux now.
But gets canceled out by Sombra. That is huge from you. That was huge from Flame Okami to cancel out the ult. As Okemi is just using whole hog all over the point to try and keep everyone off, and is nanoed as well. Eternal still on the ride, but gets taken out of the duplication. Bob coming out again from Uni, just gets them back to back. But Bob is now sleeping on the ground as usual. But that is a backup yet again for United Moose.
Uni is just farming these Bobs, doing such a good job at getting those headshots and dynamites in. I mean, well done so far. And you know, the Sombra has been great for Flame Okami, but the problem with Sombra is it's not a lot of upfront damage. They might be trying to make up with that with the Roadhog and do a lot of burst damage, but that Pharah has to be the superstar. And right now, she's just taking out this guy.
And you see the Immortality Field coming out as well as Uni takes out Space Mew, and that's once again just United Moves taking the small picks, having to back up each time. Just the time ticking away as Lotus does their best job of holding the point off from them.
Yeah, and TonyStyle gonna fall late in this fight too. The Echo just kind of sitting by as United Moose try to take that high ground, but isn't going to be the play that they're looking for. And they had such a great start, but right now we're just seeing Lotus really rotate their ult bank. Right now they don't have anything online, but they're so close to those tank ults. So right now United Moose has to make a move or they might be stalled out here.
And we see the next engagement come up as well. United Moves getting a little bit aggressive. Okemi taking out Uni. Hammer coming out as well, but it's blocked. Not only with his Mirage coming out as well, but it's taken out by Michael G. We see Flux coming out as well and takes down Space Mew. And it looks like Lotus once again making United Moves turn tail and run.
Yeah, and that Barrage, once again, just not finding the value they're looking for. They really need to swap off this at this point. I don't think Pharah is a great pick here because of all the high ground that you can take as a defender here, as well as kind of more tight corridors, close angles. So they are going to swap onto the Echo, so still someone in the sky, but they do have that EMP. It's unfortunate they use the Shatter because now ults are online right now for Lotus. I think United Moose really has to take a dry fight here and get stuff out. They still have a minute and a half in the time bank, so plenty of time for a second, maybe third fight if they play this right.
Another engagement coming out as a huge EMP comes out on to United Moves. Atomic Beat Bang taking out Space Mew, just getting aggressive. A huge EMP coming out from United Moves as they push up once again. But you see Fergie puts down that bongo to try and get some extra damage taken out. But Space Mew is now a little nanoed in effect and is just swinging away on point. Bob once again coming back to try and take everyone out. But is far I can't see Bob where Bob is right now. And he's just taken out by TonyStyle.
Yeah, Bob was on the car and hacked.
And now is both supports ults out now. And we got the field coming out as well as Eternal coming out with the duplication. Huge Shatter coming out from Space Mew. They're trying to get one off a point. Eternal using Whole Hog now. Taste Restore Eyes for Space Mew. Eternal taking out Kemi as well, and now getting to overtime territory with 16 seconds left on the clock. I do not think United Moose has what it takes to get back, unless they have a quick swap real quick.
Flame Okami was their touch, but for some reason Uncloaked really close. And I don't know if they can get back in time. Seems like they'll touch it just at the last moment, so they will be able to get back into this fight.
And we see Berkey get hacked as well as Tawny style duplication matrix on the Rhine. This could be huge as they build Shatter, and it's huge as it comes down from Tawny style, taking out everyone from Lotus as they try and hold on quick. Atomic B going out and getting a rally out. Another Shatter coming out as it takes everyone out from Lotus. Bob coming out as well, trying to get some picks off back and forth. But right now, United Moose still up at the moment, but with a pick respawns that could be their downfall as they're being picked off one by one as both tanks now fall with only Tiger Lily to remain. It gets taken out as well, and that is it. Lotus prevents United Moose from taking all 3 points.
Yeah, and I can't believe that Lotus is able to survive that. They got shattered not once, but twice. Basically, 3 or 4 people landing on the ground each time. And I think that just really shows you that Atomic B and Michael D are doing so much work on these support roles, keeping their team alive. And it's just crazy. This might come back to maybe the target focus that I was talking about earlier, just not being there as much. We did see that second shatter get some down, but then after that, it just seemed like the team kind of all went in their own direction. But United Moose got very, very close to the end, basically as far as you get without getting that full cap. So they did very well on this Nambani attack. The question is, can they do even better on their defense?
Right now, they're in a position. Right now, United Moose is in a position either they win or they lose, and that is a tough spot to be in. But they have their far-reaching distance to make up for it. But let's see how Lotus now responds back to this. Are they gonna try and possibly play aggressive to just get their win that they need?
Yeah, and you know, again, we're gonna see them come out with the Ryan Sigma, and this is really interesting because it's a little bit harder to play this comp on the defense. You have to be kind of the one engaging, which you don't want to be doing on Nambani because you have to give up that high ground, which is so valuable on this first point. They do have a Mei. It's interesting because I'm not sure that's going to play, and they may be looking for some walls, but we're going to see how that works out for them.
As we see as we see right now, Lotus taking their spot, and they're going under onto United Moose to try and get out from under them. But we see the Mei saying, "You don't fool me," but right now Mei has already iced herself off, and wall is used early. As we see Space Mew getting anti, that could be huge as there's no help coming in for Space Mew. Uni taking out Tawny style. The Eternal taking out Tiger Lily as well. United Moose down 2, and they're probably going to have to let Lotus take this point.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to contest. They're probably just going to go for a close hold on second. And yeah, Flame Okami was looking for that wall, but the whole team was there, and they just were in no man's land. And a huge nade coming in from Michael G as this fight continues on second point.
Yes, and a huge shatter coming out. Berkey as Eternal is slicing and dicing through everyone with his dash. That was a phenomenal play by Berkey.
Yeah, that was a huge shatter, and you know, it might have been a little bit of flex because at that point you'd already kind of won the point, and it just helps build up other ults, which is really good in that scenario. You know, Eternal's now only 10% off that blade after getting all of those dash kills. Michael G's not far behind. Honestly, this whole team is pretty close except for Berkey. Uni only at 62, but look at on the side of United Moose, they're swapping onto the McCree now, and it's going to be very tight for them to touch here, I think.
Right now, Lotus taking another aggressive position. Can't be as aggressive anymore because they don't have that shadow to try and fall back on. But as we see another engagement coming out from United Moose, Tawny style. Flame Okami, my bad, on the Reaper. And try and probably keep Berkey at bay. Bob coming out as well from Uni. And there we get, as we see it, Uni taking out Space as well on the way out. As you see, the United Lotus has now taken the second point, and all they need to do is get it to third with almost 6 minutes remaining.
Yeah, and they have so many ults still. I mean, all they need is the Nano Blade grab really to probably finish this off, and they do have that online. Berkey also really close to a shatter. We do see all from United Moose on their side, but they need to use them ASAP. We do see the Reaper teleporting above, but Flame Akami is going to be found out before this next fight starts.
We see another engagement happening again. We see the Nano coming out as well with the Blade. Eternal taking out 2 already. And right now, both we see a desperation play from Okemi with the Ravic Flux, and we see Shadow coming out as well, but not picking up anyone. And that is it, everyone. Lotus has won game 2.
Yeah, putting themselves in a great position. This is a 4-map series, so even if Lotus does win the next map differential is very important for this tournament. But they're in a great position right now to take the series. They looked dominant. I mean, United Moose looked very good on Nambani during parts, but that third point just eluded them a little bit too much and weren't able to make the adjustments in time. And Berkey just swinging away in our play of the game. Lotus looks on fire right now.
As we were about to go into halftime in a quick hot minute, United Moose on the uphill battle. There is a chance for a reverse sweep coming out from them as Lotus is now up 2-0.
Yep, and let's just go straight into that break right now.
I'm living inside a dream. I'ma go full out. I'ma go full out. I'ma go full out. Sounds alright, feeling so weird. I like you alright, but no way you're here, but no way you're here. I feel like you're real alright. I'm just thinking sometimes, 'cause I like you when you're right. Can't see her around, trying to get it down.
And welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a good break. Hope you got some water. Hope you got yourself some popcorn, some chips, as we are headed right back into our Shimada Clan Division fight for the night. Lotus up 2 over United Moose, as we are about to take it to Junkertown. United Moose having a little bit of a tough time trying to hold their own against Lotus, but right now there is still a chance for a reverse sweep, folks. So keep your eyes glued to the screen from wherever you're watching from, and let's get right back into it. How do you think everything's gonna go, Jag?
I mean, from what we've seen, Lotus just looks like a powerhouse, and that train can't be stopped just yet. But, with Junkertown, maybe this is the key that United Moose needs. They've shown promise on both sides of this game so far. I mean, on Oasis, they looked very good on Guardians. We talked about the 99 and 99. They looked pretty good on their Numbani attack. Weren't able to full cap it, but that defense was just not good for United Moose. Lotus looking so dominant. And it's going to Junkertown, also known as Bunkertown, so we could see some pirate ship come out here.
As we see some swaps coming in from Lotus, Kel Kaneki, and Subhero coming in for Atomic B and Michael G. And we see Nat coming in as well from Mirai, but Mirai being switched in with Stani style in real time right now. So hopefully United Moose has something up their sleeve, and that could be their secret weapon that they need to go ahead and get this reverse sweep going, as Lotus is now up 2-0.
Yeah, and another sub coming in very late. Gua gonna come in for Subhero, so no Subhero today. So many swaps coming in at the last moment. So it's really interesting, these last two maps, we've had the exact same rosters, so this might be the swap that we need now. United Moose might finally be able to take a map in this series with all these different changes coming in.
Yes, as we are about to go into Junkertown real quick. Yes, going in for game 3 of Lotus versus United Moose. Even with these Lotus swaps coming in, who knows? Maybe Guwuatine and Kel Kaneki are the trump cards that they have to try and just say, hey, now it's time to take the training wheels off.
Yeah, and they're looking to close this series out right now. As we said, United Moose at this point has to get a reverse sweep. So if they lose here, they can't win the series, but they can still win the last map just to help their map differential going later into this stage. But Lotus is looking just to kind of clean up right now.
Yes, right now, even if you were to lose, you can still go out with dignity and still get that one map to just help your differential in the standings just a little bit, as those will come into play as playoff series will be fast approaching in the next coming of weeks.
Yeah, the playoffs are always really exciting because, during the regular season, you can kind of see similar results, but playoffs is kind of the make or break time. It's their last chance. It's do or die, so that's when teams really come alive and put their best foot forward. But that's later. This is now, and we're going to see the Zen BAP come out, and that was meta for a very long time, but honestly, the Brig has kind of replaced Zen in the meta as of late, but still very great for this spam comp that they seem to be running on the side of Lotus.
As United Moose might have a tough time trying to get through that. As we see right now, Mirai getting pulled up, possibly to try and get an early pickoff for Lotus, but nothing comes out from it. As right now, United Moose just slowly but surely pushing the cart and doing what they need to do. You don't gotta be too aggressive just yet. Just play to your strengths and you'll be just fine.
Yeah, and they're just slowly pushing this car right now on the side of United Moose, just getting around the corner, and right now Lotus is giving them a lot of space. They're looking to play on the third corner actually, I believe, on this map, so right now, United Moose is getting a lot of push for free.
Right now, no picks coming out yet on either side. Flame Okami trying to come out and possibly get some hacks off. Uni takes out Flame Okami though, but Nat takes out Uni in return with the headshot. There's that nano boosted mercy action coming out right now. And we see Tiger literally with the revive on Flame Okami. So now Lotus is now down one person as this fight is still being dragged out. Now, Nat taking out Guillotine. Now Lotus is down a healer, and without a little bit of extra damage coming on their side either, as Lotus is being pushed back into the wall of Junkertown. As we see, Coalescence is coming out as as well for United Moves. And that is it, folks, as United Moves takes their first point.
Yeah, and this is the strength of that Ryan Sigma comp, and we saw it a lot in Numbani too. You get to take that fight to the enemy. You just press up and you keep pressing and you don't stop. Usually it's good to have a Lucio with this comp to have that speed boost, really help your Reinhardt get in there and engage, but they are going to stick with this Mercy, which really was helpful with that res on Flame Okami, and now their alt bank looking pretty hefty, but Lotus still has a lot to work with as well.
We see yet again, right now, the payload just being pushed as far as it needs to go right now. We see Berkey is now back with a vengeance as firing away. We see Reflex coming out as well as it comes up. It could be huge, but Immortality Fuel just shuts it down. We see Bob coming out as well on the side of Lotus, but we see a lot of balls being popped right now as we have Eternal coming out, 2 Bobs on point. Hammer down coming out from Eternal as it's huge, and it takes out everyone for United Moose, as now Lotus will take back this point and keep it where it is.
Yeah, and I think that all started honestly with the pick on the Somber. It was a 5v6 for a while, and all the ults coming out right now, and that fight just went to Lotus's favor because they just had more to use. They do have 3 ults still now in their bank. They have the Transcendence as well as the Bonko and Square. We could probably see an early Square here just to stagger out into another fight if they back out of the LOS on the side of United Moose.
And we see the field is popped. Eternal gets the double kill with the sticky bombs. And as we see, that is going to be it for that push as United Moose will have to go on the backup.
Yeah, and that's the caster curse right there. Me saying what might happen and it happening. That Square just doing so much damage, those sticky bombs getting thrown through it, and they got 2 picks right off the bat. A quick fight win for Lotus. United Moves once again backing out, but here's the Bongo being used as well.
Yes, this is heavily protected by the corner. That's going to be tough for United Moves. Uni and UMN taking out Nat and Tiger Lily, so that's another backup for United Moves. And as we saw on the last map, United Moves just getting 1 or 2 of their players picked off, and once again having to go on the regroup.
Yeah, and they did use a lot on the side of Lotus. Now all they have is that Trance. They are close to another duplicate, but Space Mute does have that Chatter online, and they do have the Cole as well as the EMP. The question is, can they get them off that high ground? And it looks like they're going to try to rotate all the way around to do so.
And it looks like we see another engagement coming out well. EMP comes out as well, and Hammer comes out, but only picks up UMN. That could be used though, as UMN is taken out. Eternal takes out Rye though, and we see Eternal turning into Reinhardt yet again. And Hammer comes out, but does not pick anyone as it falls off the side. Eternal tries to pick off Okemi. Bob is now going out as well on the side of Lotus from Uni. Fear destroyed on Space Mute. There's no protection for UM as they're going to have to force to get out of this fight yet again.
Yeah, and that's the problem of running the Rhine. You can't contest the high ground at all. They did try to rotate as Uni picks off at the very end, and it was a very big EMP, but it just didn't seem like they knew how to follow up on the side of United Moves. We saw Lotus split up. They didn't even have to commit who was Trance. All they had to use was Eternal's duplicate, and that Rhine was enough. Not sure how that Shatter didn't connect with Eternal, but at the end they win that fight, so I'm sure they're not too worried about it.
As we see once again, United Moose now at about 1 minute 20 seconds, so they are running low on time just a little bit. Uni taking out Mirai. Barrier once again destroyed as Eternal just beams down Space Mew. And right now we see a little bit of backcapping action going on from Flame Okami, but is figured out immediately and is now on the backup.
Yeah, and they swapped to the Lucio, so now it's like a complete brawl. But I just don't think it's going to be enough. They really need to speed up onto them. They can't be playing the slow ground. They're just going to get spammed out. It seems like one person keeps being caught out of position, not on that shield. So many ults right now for Lotus. This is almost last fight territory. It looks very holdable for them right now in their position.
As we see the rotation coming out yet again from Lotus. As we see Field coming out, but we see a huge Flux coming out as well, and only gets Guillotine, and Mortality Field saving some of the players. Fear destroyed again, and as we see yet again another Great Flux coming out as well. We have 2 Sigmas on the play now on the side of Lotus. Bob coming out as well, and then we see Eternal coming out with a Great Flux of their own. and doesn't get any kills off of it. Nat somehow kills himself. Oh, that is a rip in the chat. And another Bob on the play on the side of Lotus to try and keep everyone off the point. Overtime time is now coming out. A huge shatter coming out, but routine just pulls out that Transcendence to try and save everyone. And we see Bongos as well with the extra heavy-handed damage coming out. And it looks like that is it for United Moose, as Lotus will take and keep them from getting in point number 2.
Yeah, and I was really questioning why Google held on to that trance. I was thinking, oh, the Grav Flux, that's the perfect time to use it. In the end, it was a bit of a gamble, but it paid off because it totally eradicated any use the Shatter had on the side. United Moose, Space Muse just not getting the value. I keep saying Space Muse, it just sounds so good. Honestly, maybe they should just change their name to that. You're welcome, Space Mew. But they are able to get a good amount of push on the second point, but not all the way there. It just seems like their comp once again wasn't ideal for the situation. Very similar to what happened on third point in Mbani. But they do know what they have to do to defend, and I would love to see, honestly, them do a really close hold, like right on the right side of the attacker's spawn. Even if they lose that fight, it will kill some time off the clock and stop the card from progressing. I think that's a much better hold than playing up top, which is I think what most teams just are used to at this point. But you're giving up half of that first point already, and you already know that it's not going to be that far for Lotus to go.
And we see a pause trying to come out. Let's see if they still need it. Yes, sir. As we were trying to get this momentum not stopped at all. And it's a never mind right now, as it looks like they have fixed their issue right now. And we're heading right back into the action.
Yep, just in a second as I try to hit it, and there it is. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting right now to see what they decide to run on the side of Lotus, because the ball is kind of in their court, and that Zen has been working out pretty well from them right now. The Discords have been on point.
Right now, yet again, and Lotus in that territory of win or lose, as United Moose did not get all 3 points yet again. But this time, they only have to push it to 2 points. As you see UMN just getting that early eat off to try and munch down and on that damage coming in to get him some shields. As you see another pull coming out to try and take people off the high ground, which it successfully does. Took about 3. UMN taking out Mirai, and Beauty taking out Nat. That is going to be a backup for United Moose, as they are now down 2 players.
Yeah, and this is going to be really close now. It doesn't look like they're going to back out, so United Moose might be just trying to take the fight now. Now, maybe backing out. It doesn't seem like they know what they want to do, but if they lose right here, they lose anyone, this first point is basically going to be given over for free.
Right now, United Moose still on the backup, constantly waiting for one more and trying to get that good opportunity to try and get aggressive as they are right now, as it is contested. And we see picks coming out, Eternal taking out 2, as Spaceman takes out Guillotine. And we see Nat taking out Eternal, Uni taking out Nat, Okemi taking out Uni with the punch to the face. And it looks like United Moose still holding on, but it's still kind of even right now. As we see Lucio also trying to get there and also contest a point. Spaceman taking out UMN, as that's going to be a backup for Lotus as Spaceman takes out Perky.
Well, if you've ever wondered to yourself what would win in a fight, 2 tanks and 1 support versus 1 tank and 2 supports, it looks like 1 tank, 2 supports is what wins out at the end. That Cole from Tiger Lily getting so much value, able to keep the team alive, and Okami just able to keep themselves up long enough for Space Mute to get back. Eternal does have that duplicate, and we've seen them copy the Rhine every time, and it's worked out wonders so far.
Right now, once again, going on the aggression from Lotus as the wall comes out as well, but not much follow-up. Beat coming out as well. A huge shower coming out, but you see no follow-up as UMN pops out the Flux, as it's huge, as those DPS on the side of Lotus are just taking out everyone in their wake and path, and they take first point.
I'm not exactly sure about the beat for Mirai. I'm not sure how it didn't hit Space Mew. But in the end of the day, he did hit a good shatter, but when your Ryan dies after the shatter, it really doesn't matter how big it is. Flamokami does have that Mayo online, which is probably going to be their fight winner. They do have a Trance and Beat on the side of Lotus, going for a very low heal comp, but so far it seems to be working.
Right now we see Lotus now pushed up a little bit to try and keep United Moose at bay as they try and safely get the point across to their destination. As no picks coming out just yet, just playing a long game. As we see Okami pulling out that Gravitic Flux, B comes out as well, but everyone's frozen. But still, Uni and Eternal getting picks off, and we see Bones coming out as well from Lotus, but it looks like they're trying to back up a little bit as the Bongos is taken out by Okami. But right now, Lotus still holding on strong as they try and push the cart just a little bit more. As Kel Kaneki and Uni are taking out members from United Moose, and is now getting into a very, very dicey situation for United Moose as Lotus is actually on the backup as the Flame Okami switches to Reaper to try and clean up the fight.
Yeah, the Reaper and the Saw coming in at the last second, doing enough just to keep this fight alive for United Moose. And it's really interesting because I think they could have used the Trance after the Mail was thrown. Gu would have probably kept his teammates alive. The beat just not enough as it deteriorates down. But still, Lotus has plenty of time to get this cart just a little bit further. So the ball is in their cart with the Bob and the Flux and the Duplicate.
Right, and there we see another pull from Berkey, taking Okami off that high ground, and Bob coming in as well to try and cause some damage. Uni taking out Mirai with the Bob. EMP coming out as well. Blue team coming out with the Transcendence. And we see a copy as well. A huge shatter coming in from Space Mew. And the UMN taking out Flame Okami. Right now it looks like it's in Lotus' favor. We see a Reflected Flux coming in from United Moose, but it's just not enough as Lotus will take game 3.
Yep, and with that, they will take the series. There is still redemption to be found for United Moose in this last map. They might be able to make that map differential a little bit better for them as they gear towards playoffs, but I'm just amazed by how good Lotus looks right now. Honestly, they look like a well-oiled machine. It just seems like even when they're losing, somehow they're still winning. A lot of the time, they were down players, and they still somehow pull it out at the very end. So, you know, Eternal and Uni both doing amazing jobs, but it's really been a great team effort from all of them.
The chips aren't down yet. Even if you're down a couple players, as you can still probably try and squeeze out a fight that is almost unwinnable, as we have seen Lotus doing a good job of making the impossible possible.
Yep, and we are going to go to map 4, which will be Hanamura. So we're going to see Assault come out, and I think that's going to be really interesting. Very different map type than what we've seen so far. You know, that aggressive style might not work as well. We've seen from United Moose and Lotus, both of them playing very aggressive on Junkertown.
Yes, that's where we're going to head on into Hanamura, which is a tough map to play with if you are the attacker side. 4.1, as you have to go through that teeny tiny little choke point that you can just funnel a lot of damage in from the defensive side.
Yeah, and before we get into the map, it looks like someone might have left the lobby, or someone's internet might have gone out, so we're just going to stand by in the meantime. But, you know, Lotus being very decisive, now going to go 2-0 so far in the stage. So what do you think could be the thing that beats them? Because right now they look unstoppable.
Right now, I am having a tough time myself. Lotus doing a good job. We haven't seen Lotus trying adapting because we haven't seen United Movies even try anything different. They're just, you know, running the same Ryan Sigma. So it looks like they're not using any picks to try and possibly throw Lotus off their game a little bit. But right now, Lotus, looking really strong in their natural habitat.
Absolutely. It looks like this is just kind of their tournament to win right now. This is their stage, and they are doing amazing on it so far. It's really interesting. We're going to see some swaps come in. It looks like we're going to see another swap come in from United Moose. So this is really going to shake things up in terms of what they've been running so far.
Whew. Yes, sir. As right now, what are your feelings as Lotus? Do you want to have a little bit of fun now that this is map 4 and you basically know you've already secured your win, or do you want to just say screw it, we are dominating, we are taking this 4-0 tonight?
I think you want to play for that 4-0 because it's really important to kind of continue that high momentum. I think if you take it too easy, one map that can kind of carry on. Obviously, like they are in the driver's seat and they've been dominant so far, but you don't want to show any signs of weakness, especially going towards playoffs.
As we are about to head right on into Hanamura very, very soon, as we have seen, both teams looks like they are about ready as they have their rosters together. As we take it to the final map of the night, possibly one of my least favorite maps, to be completely honest. If you ask me, Hanamura, I do not like maps with a lot of tight chokeholds, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, we see Sim is really popular on Hanamura, and honestly, a lot of assault maps just because she kind of lets you cut through the choke, so you don't even have to take that fight at the beginning. You just kind of go all the way to point. But it can be very hard to run the Sim, especially if another team on the defense is expecting it. Sometimes they could just be holding really far back on the point, or maybe on that high ground, just kind of do spam from above to not let the teams go in. So there's a lot you can see here, and we've seen not a lot of meta, honestly, tonight. I expect to see a lot of Genji, and we've seen a lot more Echo, especially on the side of Lotus. Eternal has been very efficient on it so far, so maybe no Genji after what we've seen already, but who knows? Because, like we said, could be totally different this map.
We're just on standby right now, as both teams are just trying to get ready real quick. Yes, I'm also very surprised that we have not seen a single Genji coming out for the night, as Genji is still in the meta with that Ash Genji action.
Yeah, Genji was played a little bit on Numbani, but other than that, we really haven't seen it at all. So it's been really interesting. We've seen the Pharah, we've seen the Echo, we've seen the Mei. We've seen a lot of different projectile heroes, which you really don't see as much during this, especially Echo, because like I said at the beginning of the cast, Echo was really powerful when she first came out, but then she got that nerf to her beam that made it a little bit shorter, and that made her a lot less useful in the sky, but we are finally going to get into this last map.
I apologize also for forgetting the eternal superiority action on the Genji at New Bondi. As like I said, he was slicing and dicing through everyone from that amazing shatter coming out from Berkey, as Lotus was on the offensive for that game. But right now, it's a different map now. It is Hanamura, last map of the night. What do you think we will see on the side of defense and offense?
Well, it really depends on if you're preparing for that Sim TP or not. I think if you're not, you're probably going to see a double shield played right at the front gate to try to hold that position, maybe on the high ground on the right side so you can spam down. But it looks like from the attackers, we might see Orion Diva, and that's really interesting. We do know that Tiger Lily is swapping from the support role to the off tank to kind of fill someone who had to leave, internet problems. Very unfortunate when it happens. But Diva's not very meta. She was meta for so long, for basically 2.5 years, maybe 3 since the game came out. But as of late with Double Shield, she's just not as strong as she used to be.
It is highly unfortunate, as Diva is a fun hero to play. But right now we see a little bit of a bunker coming in. The double shield, my bad, action coming in from Lotus as they hold that high ground with Berkey on Orisa. But as we see, she drops down and is now taking the shield as the first engagement of this map is about to come right on in. And we see the wall coming out as well, holding off people, holding off United Moves' team. They're all cut off. It looks like Eternal getting the kill on Tawny style. Tiger Lily is out there mech now from Uni. And looks like that's going to be a backup for United Moves.
And look at Tiger Lily, still out of mech, but still alive. It looks like, oh, they probably didn't know, but now they definitely know. Tiger Lily is going to get out with their life. You really have to bait this wall if you're United Moves. Eternal's just going to be sitting there waiting to put it up every time, trying to cut the tanks off. So you try to kind of walk in and then just quickly walk out to bait it. But if you can't do that, you just have to break it. That wall is not immortal. It only has 2,000 health. With a good amount of focus fire on a certain part of it, it is very breakable. But here they are again. as United Moose tries to get through this choke point.
Tiger Lily getting back into mech, hopefully put that DM in their faces to try and keep the damage from rolling in. Dynamite out as well. I see a little bit of aggression coming out as the speed boot comes out. Yoon taking out Mirai though. Oh, United News now down a tank. Someone on point though. We have the Lucio on point. Like, UMN taking out Okemi. And now, right now, the fight is in Lotus's favor as they're just picking United Moose part by part, brick by brick. As once again, United Moose has to go on the regroup.
That was a great play by Flame Okame. They actually got the hack onto Eternal, so there was no wall to be put up. And it just looked like, again, United Moose wasn't able to capitalize, though. They kind of got split. Mirai falling really quick in that fight, and that's most of your healing. Lucio just does not make up for that, so they're probably going to be looking for a similar setup as they try again. But only 2 minutes on the clock, so half their attack already gone.
Right now we see another quick engagement of the night coming out, trying to probably sniff out. That's a bomb for Sombra. Bob coming out as well. LAC Rally, touchdown coming out as well as it keeps people from Lotus at bay. Hey, right now ultra being popped back and forth. Coalescence coming out as well to keep everyone alive. As we see right now, Uni trying to get pop shots on everyone, takes out Tawny style. I we see UMN coming out with the Reflux Diva Bomb getting paused, but doesn't get any kills going out. And right now, it's just Lotus is taking back their point, just making waste their time.
Yeah, but they used 5 ults in that fight. They'd use almost everything except for the square. That square, though, as we've seen, if it comes out early, can be the difference maker. They do have the EMP on. That's another pick, so Nat going to be staggered out a little more. They're probably only going to have one more real, full fight if they're lucky. But I do also want to point out that Tiger Lily had a huge eat on that May ult, so Eternal not getting the value they were looking for there, but still enough from the team to get that hold still going. And this is do or die right now for United Moose.
You see Flame Okami getting a little bit closer to that Sigma over there. See a huge MP coming out. But ooh, Uni just taking out Flame Okami immediately. Right taking out the Wu team right now. Right now, the team is now down a healer for Lotus. And then we see Nicole is coming out as well. LT beat along with the window coming out as well. But right now, it looks like United Moose is up as they are trying to push and just push Lotus off of this point. As you see Wu team just spinning on, just going around, just skating along on point. As United Moose just narrowly by the hairs on their chins, taking this point 1.
Yeah, and it was do or die for them in the end. They were able to capitalize. I think getting those 5 ults out the fight previously really helped them. All they had to screen this fight just wasn't used in the right way. But now Lotus does have ults on the board, but we also see some from United Moose. So the question is, can United Moose execute? Can they get that full cap that has eluded them so far?
Right now, we're seeing another engagement come out as Bob comes out as well on the point. Someone has to come on point. We see another Bob coming out on as well to keep the other one at bay. A double Bob action, and Uni's Bob just reigns supreme though. But Nat takes out Uni's Bob. You see a touchdown coming out as well. It's huge.
The 4K.
The 4K with the Diva Bomb as United Moose is now on the point. Team kill bringing loud and proud. United Moose takes both points.
Yeah, and that's the best they have looked all night. That was a great set play. They got the lamp out early. They threw the Bob on point, which basically forced Lotus to use their own Bob to contest. It all worked so well together, and this is the map they've looked best on, and they might be able to win this. They need to have a good defense, though. Their defense has looked shaky at best so far. Lotus has so far been able to kind of just roll in and take those points very easily. So if they can have a strong first point defense, they might be able to take this map and make it a 3-1 series. Even with the loss, it's always a moral victory to take that last map.
Chef's kiss to the tank tanks as they had a great shatter bomb combo. And now let's hope they keep that same momentum coming on with this defense, as Lotus is going to not be happy about that one, and they're probably going to try their best to come in strong and put the nail in the coffin for tonight and get that 4-0 victory.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to be running a very aggressive brawl comp. We're gonna see a double shield come out from United Moose, very similar to what we saw on the side of Lotus on their first defense. So the question is, will the comp be better? They are running the Zen, which is a very interesting. Zen at Train Attendant's very good in those Discord's orbs, so valuable, but he is sort of a sitting duck, so once he's focused down, it's very easy to keep him down. So the question is, will it pay off? But here we are right now, Lotus looking to make this a 4-0.
We see they're going on to that right side from Lotus, just, taking their sweet time trying to get in position. As we see the wall coming out kind of early for the side of United Moose. As they are now down without their wall, we would think it would be a chance to get aggressive, but there is no aggression coming out right now. As still Lotus is at bay, not making any quick moves right now, possibly trying to play for a pick. As you see, they are still holding in at the trigger.
Yeah, and that pick from Nat onto Uni is what's kind of kept them in this fight, but that wall's gonna come out, and right now Akemi's in no man's land.
And we see Lotus getting highly aggressive right now and trying to take this point as quick as they can. And Uni taking out Flame Okami, Nat taking out Uni though. So now, once again, and Lotus is a little bit in a poor position as they're kind of building up at the point right now, and now getting aggressive once the wall is down. As a whole no bars fight now on for the point. As Coalescence coming out, Shatter comes out as well and manages to get a couple picks off. Nat takes themselves out as it is now in Lotus's favor as they're pushing everyone from United Moose off the point and trying to get those picks off as Transcendence is popped to try and bait out the point, but that is a yikes as now Tawny Style will be taken out. Now United Moose not really having much of a chance to get back as that Berkey just slams Flame Okami into the wall, and Lotus will now take point 1.
Yeah, Tawny Style now going to swap off the Zen onto the map, which is actually really good because that lamp is kind of like a mini Transcendence, able to keep people alive for the 5 seconds that it's used, unless it's broken. But there are a lot of balls right now for United Moose. As long as they can have some sort of defense on this first tech, are able to hold, they could do very well on the second point.
The Ice Wall coming out as well with a huge government on Surge, but let's see if there's any value coming out, because there is not, unfortunately. We also see the Blizzard coming out as well as it holds Lotus in their place, and that is good for Nat as they take that aggression to take out everyone in their path. Nat, a absolute menace on the Ash.
Yeah, Nat has looked really good in the series, the two maps that they've played. They do have that Bob as well as the Flux on right now for United Moose, so they do have some ults to work with, luckily. And that lamp is being the saving grace at the very end. They're able to throw it down just in time. Tawny Style able to save their teammates in the May ult coming out from the Flame Okami, doing just enough to help clean them up. So they do have a better ult bank, but Eternal does have that May ult right now. So right now, Lotus could be taking the point right here if they do this clean enough.
We see Lotus trying to go on the coast, but they could take a more aggressive measure onto. We see Blizzard coming out as well on the high ground. Lotus could be in a good position. Hammer down coming out as well, but not getting out on some. Double Bob coming out as they knock each other down. B coming out as well from Guillotine. Now Lotus up 2 in the fight for second point. Wall comes out as well to keep everyone from getting to a safe position as Lotus is now just pulling everyone apart. We see the Flux coming out, but does not pick anyone up from Tiger Lily. As we see Lotus still a menace on the point as they are just picking apart our United Moose once again as it is still a fight for the point as no progress is being made. But Okemi coming out on the Wrecking Ball, all Tiger Lily on the Diva once again, and looks like United Moose will be taking this point back as Lotus is not getting much value putting out as well. Another coalescing coming out as well to try and get a little bit aggressive. Berkey taking out Flamer Kame. Kemi was frozen. Huge shatter coming out from Berkey. That could be what Lotus needed to try and take this point back. As now Tiger Lily is off out of the mech. Okami goes down as well. We see Flammo Okami trying to come back on point, but it's taken out by Guillotine. As now 2 ticks are taken for Lotus. As we see Tawny Style coming out on the Lucio, but is getting frozen as well. Nat coming out from the Tracer coming out. They're trying to stall point even more. It's just a Stall-O-Rama coming out from United Moves. As we see, Garnazor just holding everyone in place. And once again, and Nat taking out Berkey, which could be a huge hit for Lotus. As Bob is now coming back on the point to try and clean it up. And that is it, folks. Lotus has taken both points.
Yeah, but that defense from United Moose, the stall was incredible. I think they killed about a minute 30 off the clock, and they actually do have more time in this time bank, despite the fact that Lotus got there with much more time in their pocket. So only a few seconds difference, not too big, but that could be what it matters in the end. Even the littlest of time can make the biggest of difference. We are going to see Lotus on this first attack since they have less time, so they need to be dominant again. That first push they had, not as great, but that second full push they had, very well played. So the question is, can they play that aggressively into United Moose and force them to make a mistake once more?
Since Lotus has got the lower time bank, they are going to be on the attack. So right now, as Lotus, you have to imagine that they are going to try to aggressively push into these points as much as they can to just get as much progress to make sure that United Moose does not pull the rug from under them.
Yeah, but I mean, United Moose has put themselves into a good position to take this map. They did look very good on that offense, especially on second point. That bomb shatter combo just working out so well for them. They are going to run the Diva, which Tiger Lily just seems to be a little bit more comfortable on, so sometimes it's better to play to your strengths instead of trying to play the meta. They do still have the Mei, so they are going to be looking for those walls. The walls weren't that great the first time around, so they're going to need them to get more value.
We're going to see if Uni going on this Symmetra pays off as we see them swapping to it. Try and get through the point as quick as they can, and that's it. It's going to be a teleport, and we see Eternal with the wall. That is a great play. As Berkey takes out Flame Okami, a great play by the DPS to make sure that they get a takeoff at the very least. Tiger Lily now taking all out of Meg and just sitting there. Again, Eternal blocking off anyone from getting entry as UM is once again just swept up off the floor. And Lotus will go ahead and take their first point.
Yeah, and with the Symmetra dead, they're probably not going to be looking for that teleport to the left. Sometimes you can see them try to teleport straight down the middle on top of that, but surprisingly, United Moose is not playing that high ground. They are sort of playing point, as I say, that they are now rotating up top, so they do have a high ground advantage right now. The question is, how are they going to use the Sim next? Because so far it's been paying off dividends.
And we see they're going to teleport to the high ground, but Tiger Lily trying to contest some of them. But now, UM in a bad position. Ooh, but Nat takes out Uni. That's going to be tough for Lotus. Hammer comes out as well as it picks up Okemi. It wasn't used, but it was what they needed as they took out Okemi. I spoke too soon. Riley coming out as well from Glue team to get very aggressive. Window coming out from Mirai. Now taking out Berkey. Tiger Lily taking out Eternal. Glue team taking out Mirai. And that is it, as Lotus will probably have to go on the backup, but I spoke too soon yet again. As they see, they are a menace to be reckoned with as they are taking out the essential picks that they need. Right now, Okemi holding on for dear life as they hold up their shield, as they now get aggressive. UM taking out Okemi, Tiger Lily taking out Uni, as Lotus will have to go ahead and go once again go on the regroup.
Yeah, they have Grab and Mail on the side of Lotus, so that should be a big combination for them. The Cole and Shatter almost on the side for United Moose. So the question is, can that Shatter stop the other option being used?
You see Dragon Surge coming out, taking up Okemi. But we see Blizzard coming out as well to try and just take out who they need. Tony Style taking out Eternal. Hey, Hammer coming out as well. Both Hammers coming out. Not getting too many people, but just doing just enough to try and get Lotus off of their point. And that is it, folks. As United Moose holds Lotus from taking point 2.
Yeah, that defense was so touch and go. United Moose almost dropping it despite having that first pick, and Goo just getting so much value on that brick, literally inside of United Moose, but not being found out. But in the end, they were able to use some of that stall tactics that we saw on their first defense. It paid off this time. They were able to group back up and take that victory. The mail grab just not big enough. A shatter coming out that's a little bit bigger on Okemi's side than on Berkey's. So now they know their win condition. The question is, can United Moose take this last map?
As we have seen, it's a win-lose situation now, as this is now United Moose's game to win, as they now have stopped Lotus from taking point 3. I don't even think Lotus even took a tick off of that second point, if I'm correct.
They did not, yeah. So I think you still have to get, I think, 33%. Because that's just kind of how that first tick works. If they had gotten, you know, a little bit more than one tick, then it could have been just like 34%, and that's all they needed. But if United Moose can get a really good opening pitch, but we see the Bastion come out, it's gonna be so hard for them right now. Oh no, Lotus really wants to win this.
What? Sometimes desperate times calls for desperate measures, and once you see the Bastion being played out, you know for a fact it is in desperate times. As we see the Bastion going to mow down, but a smart play coming out from United Moose to put up the May wall, as they are now going to try and take this point. I mean, Lotus is now going to have to is now playing on United Moose's terms. But all they have to do is just stay away. Another wall coming out from the May as they're about to take this point. Great plays coming out from United Moose to try and stay out of the line of sight of the Bastion, as they might be able to do it. Another wall coming out as well. It's just UMN on the point. And we see Bastion just cleaning it up.
Yeah, that's the power. Bastion just does so much burst damage, so hard to kill, especially when he's in the pocket. But a really great strategy from United Moose. They did get 2 ticks on the point. All they need is 1 more. But can they even get back? We're now seeing the Bastion on the point, so it's going to be very hard for them to push through this choke.
I tip my hat off to United Moves to go ahead and just stay and just do the good old strategy, just staying out of line of sight of Bastion. But now the Bastion is now hunkered up on the point, which is now a very uphill battle for them. As Uni takes out Mirai, United Moves now down 2 healers as Uni gets the kills on both supports for United Moves, as 30 seconds are about to be on the clock.
Yeah, and they're so split right now. 3 of them kind of in that room while the Reinhardt tries to get the healers back. And it's going to be very hard for them to touch the point. And Uni already has that Bob. They almost have Valk and the Bastion tank for him. So this is going to be very hard for United Moose. But Godspeed to them as they push onto this point.
You see Nat trying to get aggressive on Uni. Uni taking out Nat as they were saying, you are not taking my high ground. As we see little Okami trying to get aggressive as well. Coalescence coming out as well. Tank form coming out too. And try and get aggressive off of that. Bob coming out. We see a huge shower coming in, but no follow-up from it, unfortunately. As they set the Bastion with the window as well. And they have the Flux coming out also. And that is it, folks. And that is it for the night. As Lotus will take game 4.
Yeah, but they had to resort to, and pardon my French, some very cheesy strats to really be able to take that win there. They had to use the Sim TP, they had to use the Bastion bunker. So Lotus, after looking so dominant, shown that they're still mortal on this last map by United Moose, but they do get the 4-0 at the end of the day, so all of the brownie points to them. But United Moose showing some light at the end despite the changes that weren't planned, as someone could not play due to internet. So you gotta give them credit where credit's due.
Yes, United. Yes, United Moose one might have lost,
Impeccable.
but as you can see, Lotus had to pull the Bastion. So can you cut your losses and probably pat yourself on the back and say, hey, we might have lost, but we made them pull out the ultimate. The ultimate just cheesiness of them all, Bastion. Probably the low elo nightmare himself.
Yeah, I think that is a pat on the back. You can say, hey, like we made them come down to this, but still, I'm sure they would have loved to take that last map. So at the end of the day, that is a 4-0 full sweep for Lotus over United Moose. Lotus now moving to 2-0 this stage, while United Moose falls to 0-1.
Yes, that will be it for the night. But before we end off, we will have to give out our player of the match. Who you got, Jag?
I really liked Michael G on that Ana. I think that really enabled them in the first half, but Michael G did end up coming out, so I think it might be a little bit hard to give it to someone who only played half the series. I'm going to give it to Eternal. That's probably my nomination. They were so dominant on that Echo and the Genji. And the Mei too, honestly, pretty good. But that Echo specifically was really the hard carry at some points, especially the duplicates onto the Reinhardt, kind of showing their main tank prowess by being able to get those huge shatters.
For me personally, I might have a little bit of bias because I am a tank player myself, but I will probably have to give credit is due to Berkey just being being the aggressive type on the Reinhardt and knowing when to play a little bit more defensively with the Orisa as they're doing such a good job of just getting the essential picks that they need, and also with the massive shatters that we have seen to just shut down whatever plans United Moose had in store for them.
Yeah, Berkey definitely got the better of Okemi. Okemi hitting some really big shatters, but the follow-up never seemed to be there. Berkey seemed to always get value out of theirs. Maybe that's just a better, comm structure where they all know to be on top of that Ryan as soon as he hits that shatter. Maybe it's just the timing is better. But yeah, Berkey definitely asserting their dominance as the main tank supreme.
And that will be about it for the night, folks. Lotus taking the 4-0 win against United Moose. I hope you all have a great and excellent night. And I have been your Playcaster Showdown, Shane.
And I have been your color caster, Jack. Thank you for joining us and have a wonderful evening.
Good night, everyone.